Welcome into the X-Bomb Sports Live Show, and happy football!
Football!
Happy football!
Happy football.
Happy holidays to everybody. We have football tonight, and that's exciting.
So nice.
It's back.
Absolutely.
Game 1.
Are you ready?
Oh.
You've been ready.
Is that a serious question?
I mean, it could be.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to justify that with a response.
Oh, well
because
then. Okay.
I think that was pretty obvious by the open.
Yes, absolutely.
That I'm ready and excited for it. But apparently you need some more excitement. You want me to yell and scream?
Absolutely.
Football!
I want that Drew-gasm, please.
Once they kick the ball off tonight,
Okay.
yeah! It'll be exciting. I'm already excited.
I can tell, man.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Well, I am your host for today and class president, Drew Gwillem.
That's true.
And as everybody already knows, Andrew Valentin.
How you doing, everybody?
Yeah,
Drew, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Excited?
excited about football. I mean, we got a little.
I just needed more clarification.
We get a little taste with the college football season starting ahead of time. It is. It's nice. It's meaningful games, but it's not NFL.
No.
NFL is king and always has been, and that's going to continue.
Absolutely.
Well, let's get right into it so we can get through all this good stuff.
We got games.
Talk
to
about
watch, man.
football. We're talking all football today.
Absolutely.
And then we're going to go watch football
Let's do
and
it.
eat food. So we're pretty excited about that around these parts. But let's get right into it. We are talking Bears. Big one.
Yeah.
Big news.
Yeah,
big,
absolutely.
big news. Toodles, Ted. It's about time.
40 years, man.
40 years. Bears president, CEO Ted Phillips plans to retire at the end of this season. Like you said, 40 years with the team since 1983. Became the president and CEO in 99.
Yeah.
And he's done some good things for this team. He's also been a part of some bad things for this team. His nose has been in business that it most definitely shouldn't have been.
Absolutely.
But overall, how do you see this playing out for the Bears' future? Somebody that they could possibly look at going forward, and what's your level of excitement or happiness, or how do you feel about this news coming about?
I mean, I as obviously removed from the fan bases as it is, but as a football fan, I think it's certainly good news because, look, you've been with the organization for that long, since 99, 40 years with them in total. He's done a lot of good. He's a very good business-minded man. He's done a lot to make the team money.
Business.
Yes, business. Unfortunately, his football sense, I think, has not always been there. Has he made some good moves? Sure. But let's be honest, the guys that he's been a part of hiring GMs and a couple of things with the coaches and stuff, I don't think he's made good decisions on those. Obviously, these previous ones we know he was into with Nagy and Pace. Not the best choices, of course. Obviously, didn't do your homework. But I think it's good. I think it's a chance for your – because, listen, everybody's getting younger now. Everybody's looking for the new young hotshot coaches, the new young hotshot GMs. I think this is your chance to say new generation's coming up. Find the new executive. Find the new guy that can help take the Bears from 1921 and finally put them in 2022. I think it's a good move. I don't know who that's going to be. I know everybody's saying Peyton Manning. That's what I don't even know how interested he is in the job. I think he wants to be a part of football. I just don't know if he wants to be that. But I am excited to see where the Bears go. I think this group can actually get to that next level if they pick the right guy.
I saw somebody arguing, people arguing on Twitter about this. As soon as the headline was there, and then people were like all excited, and this guy pipes in saying, I don't understand why Bears fans are so excited because apparently they don't know what a president and CEO does. And then the next guy after that was, apparently you're not from Chicago. And that summed it up enough. And he kept arguing the point, well, the president doesn't make football moves. The CEO doesn't make football moves. The president and CEO is part of business. Yes.
Right.
Supposed to be. Right. But if you knew anything about this team, you knew that this president and CEO was involved in football decisions where he shouldn't have been.
Quite a bit, in fact.
Quite a bit. Hiring and firing your football decision makers is a football move.
Yes.
Because those people that are picking the players that are supposed to make your team a good team, that's a football move.
Absolutely.
The guy doesn't know about football, and he's hiring people that are supposed to know about football.
Right.
Well, if you don't know about the subject that you're talking about and hiring somebody for, how are you going to hire the right guy?
Yeah, you're clearly not qualified for the position, so why are you in any shape or form allowed to judge?
Exactly. I like the Peyton Manning idea of it, but at the same time, I'd like to see him come into a role where he's more involved with players and bringing players in instead of the business side of things,
right?
Which they just hired Ryan Poles, which is their GM and the guy in charge of player moves.
Absolutely.
So if that didn't work out and they wanted to bring him in as president, CEO, GM type of that kind of thing, and he stuck more to the football decision side of things, I'm for that. I think he'd be great for an organization.
Absolutely. Well, and we got to remember too, they're going to have to pick somebody. At least I feel like they would have to pick somebody that they know is going to get along with Ryan Poles, because usually when you make this kind of a change, pretty much everything from that point down is going to change, right? The coach, the GM, players sometimes make that ultimate change because the president's going to want to bring in his guys, right, as we like to say. So whoever they're bringing in, I don't know if that's the smart move or the right move or if it's going to balance out, but you need to bring somebody in that's going to be able to work with Pace, work with Eberflus, that likes them, that's going to communicate with them. That's not just going to be some dude ticking away at a calculator saying, we could save this much money as long as we upcharge the ticket sales by 200% or whatever it is he decided to jump the ticket prices up to. CJ was looking at the tickets. There's one, what was it, $20,000, right? We're looking $20K for some
That's
seats.
insane.
And I think we saw some that were cheaper, like at $4,000, that looked better seats anyway. So we'll see.
Well, thanks for all the good things that you've done for the organization.
Appreciate
Ted.
some of the memories.
The business side of it, you were very, very good at.
Absolutely.
And those types of things, we wish it was just that.
Yes.
But with everything, it has its good and bad. Hopefully, the next hire is somebody that is on point and maybe can do knows about both sides.
Absolutely.
And is very knowledgeable about both and can
find the balance.
Yes, find the balance and interject when needed.
Absolutely.
But with that change, there's also going to be a lot more change coming. So this Bears world basically is going to be a whole new one.
Bears world, Bears
world,
whatever you want to call it, baby.
So the Bears have unveiled concept art for a new stadium with an entertainment district.
Oh my God, it looks amazing.
It does look amazing.
Looks amazing, and I know there's people obviously split, but
so let me read off some of these notes we have from the Bears press release about the Arlington Heights plan going forward. So any development of Arlington Park will propose to include a multi-purpose entertainment, commercial, retail, and housing district that will provide considerable economic benefits to Cook County, the surrounding region, and the state of Illinois. Okay?
What I want to hear.
Yes. Don't take money from the people.
Yeah.
You're a multi-billion-dollar organization.
As we just discussed with the man who helped make you a lot of that money.
And once the stadium deal is done, think of how much more this organization is going to be worth.
Oh, man.
Ridiculous.
Oof.
So the next note, the Bears said they will seek no public money to fund the construction of the new stadium, but they will look for partnerships with local government agencies to secure additional funding and assistance needed to support the feasibility of the remainder of the development.
Yes.
Okay? Again, let the rich people pay for it.
Right. And listen, that's the thing, right? When you pay for the stadium, we've seen it. SoFi, all of them, Allegiant, what is it? It's all private money. It's all the team's money.
Yes.
All they're saying
billionaires that have their private money that are willing to be a part of that.
Exactly.
And invest in something that they know they're going to get a return on.
Exactly. I mean, this is real estate. And from there, they're saying, okay, and then, everybody's then investing into these shops and everything. Smart move, more real estate. We see what Wrigleyville is. We see how much that place is popping. Makes sense. Makes total sense.
I hope the Bears spend more money than Cubs do.
Absolutely.
That's for another day.
Absolutely.
Okay, the next note. Construction of the stadium and development of the surrounding area is projected to create over 48,000 jobs and provide $3.9 billion in wages to workers.
I'm available.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I can put together chairs. I can glue things down.
Be the most expensive player motivator on your team. Yeah.
Yeah, come on, guys. You put those steel girders up
You
there.
better
All
do.
right.
You're gonna have to do better than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make them want to run through a brick wall for practice.
Yes. Wings for all.
Yeah. Ooh.
Sorry, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get to the next note.
Absolutely.
It's not about food though.
No,
Sorry.
unfortunately.
It's more money. Once construction is complete, the Bears expect to create over 9,750 long-term jobs with $601 million in annual wages. They also project $16 million in annual tax revenue for Arlington Heights on top of their property taxes, plus $9.8 million in tax revenue for Cook County and $51.3 million for Illinois.
I don't hear a problem.
Every good thing that you're trying to get a return on is going to cost money.
Of course.
You can't just get a return on nothing.
Yes.
So you have to invest to get back.
Absolutely.
And something like this is a knockout guarantee to get your money back plus some.
You don't understand how that house goes from $400,000 and suddenly can be worth $1.5 million when it's a 20-minute drive to the stadium. Even more. Ask the people in New Jersey that don't live too far from the Meadowlands how that is. It's real estate. And listen, it's not 2008 where everything failed out. This is a stadium. We see what happens. It makes an impact.
And again, the Bears are one of the top organizations as far as net worth goes.
Yeah.
They're in the $5 billion range, I want to say.
I think so. Just touching, I think, at the 5.
Yeah,
maybe
right
even
around
5.5.
$4.5, $5
You're one of
billion
the top
range.
brands in the NFL.
Yes. Well, charter
One of the
franchise.
original. Yes, absolutely.
Charter franchise. That's why it so hurts year after year when they suck. But
Painful.
Really think that everything is moving in a good direction. The right direction.
This shows progress, right?
Yes.
It's the old president moving on. It's the new stadium, and you're not moving away from your guns no matter what grass you put in that stadium. Props to Eberflus, by the way, to be able to make that happen. I mean, that you've already proven you're a good coach just by being able to say, I want new grass. Okay. Granted, the mayor's caving, I think. But.
Again, we made jokes. Ryan and Matt are our football guys.
Yes.
Again. But so far, as far as the head coach goes, I think this jury's still out on the GM.
Yeah.
I still like some of the things he's done, some of the players he's been able to find. But as far as the head coach goes, I'm very impressed so far. And as far as before a game's played, I want to see how that's handled, how he handles that adversity when the team's not doing very well, how they are going forward. But so far, I don't have any complaints on the coach.
Very impressive, honestly. I mean, you got the mayor to cave on the grass, man. Call that a big win. That's not even the players.
I think they're trying to do whatever they can to keep their Bears at Chicago.
She'd throw chocolate on the grass too if it meant if that's what you asked for at this point. So.
Well, she was making fun of the Bears, and then now she's doing everything she can to help them. Mixed messages.
Oh crap! They called my bluff. Yeah.
And speaking of messages,
yes,
there's a little more mixed messages, or not mixed messages, just uncertainty maybe.
Right.
A message within a message.
Yes.
Okay. Theories and predictions have risen that the McCaskies may look to sell the team, which, like we said, this stadium happens. This thing gets built like they are projecting it to be.
Yeah.
And all that it comes with, everything that will be included in this thing, the franchise is going to probably close to double.
I would say so you're tacking on. I would say probably close to another $500 million, maybe even close to $1 billion. I think at that point, if you're talking about everything 100% locked down, this is what it is. If that concept art is what we're looking at, I think you're looking at easily another $500 million you can tag on to the franchise.
If
easily.
not more.
Absolutely.
If not more. And at that point, the man might be ready to move on.
Listen, unfortunately, the Queen just passed away. Not to take it away from football, but, she's 96. Virginia's 99, and from what I understood, she's kind of not in the best of health right now. Not like anything bad, but she's kind of like not doing too hot right now. Okay. Nevertheless, George is going to take over at some point. It seems like he's kind of the point man right now as the CEO and chairman of the team, or chairman of the team, I should say. So you have to assume at some point, whenever Virginia does pass away, it's going to go to George. And I still have a feeling in my gut, it's just me, that he doesn't really want to run this team and he will look to sell. That's just me.
I think it would be the perfect time. I mean, it's going to obviously take some time for the stadium to be up and ready to go, but
Right.
as far as timing wise,
Yeah.
sell
Sell high,
off,
right?
sell high and sail off into the sunset
Yeah.
because he's already a rich man, but he'll be
Yes.
filthy rich
Absolutely.
after that time comes.
I think the only thing they'd have to worry about is obviously he's got brothers and sisters that are still invested in this thing. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Ryan family, who's on the board with the Bears, they're first buyers up for the Bears. And
Right.
I don't know a lot about the Ryan family. I know that they really want the Bears, which is why they're on the board, of course, and they're invested in the organization. I don't know how they would be as owners. I'm assuming because they're still in that billionaire style, maybe they'd be more willing to spend. They put their name on the field at Northwestern, and that's about it. That's all I can really tell you about them at this point in time. But no matter who it is, I think if you're talking about them actually selling the team, like you said, there's no more perfect time than right now. Build the stadium, up your value even more, sell on a high note, step away from it, do whatever it is you want to do, because I just don't get the feeling that George is into football. You're named after your grandpa, but you're not Hallis.
Self-proclaimed,
Yes.
not a football guy.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Not to say that even the new owner has to be a football guy, but I want to feel like he at least wants to be in the stadium. Like, I mean, you talk about the guy who owns the Ravens, obviously Jerry Jones, he's crazy. But, somebody who's...
The Rams.
I mean, those guys...
Very good example right there.
Absolutely.
That guy is very much involved.
Yeah, Stan Kroenke is always at the games, and he loves football. So that helps a lot. And I think the Bears can find somebody. Somebody out there is going to buy this team.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well,
Not Kanye West.
with all of this information and
Yep.
news going on, we still have a game to play. Game 1,
It starts...
week 1,
Oh, boy.
49ers at Bears. Spread is San Francisco -7, over under 40.5. Week 1, your Chicago Bears. Who are you going with?
Oh, God, this is... all right.
So much distress.
I know, right? I'm going to go with the Niners. I know we're going to get to Trey Lance and all that stuff here soon, but just on a basic, I know there's a lot of talk about how he's going to do and everything, and he might not be ready. But I think in terms of how this game is going to go out, it's a coaching matchup. I think Eberflus will flex his wings a little bit. I think he'll be able to show that he can fly with the rest of them. But this is Kyle Shanahan. He knows how to scheme on an offense. He knows how his defense is healthy right now. They, I think, are maybe the second, if not maybe the best roster, I think, in the NFL possibly. They can challenge. So I think as long as they do what they do best, run the football, play hard defense, I think they win this game. I'll give them the 7, but I'm going to say it's an under. I think the Bears defense comes to play a little bit here. And I think Trey's going to make some mistakes along the way. There's growing pains that will be there.
I'm with you. I don't think that they're fully sold on Trey Lance by the way they kept Jimmy around.
Yes.
And that even supposedly bothered Trey Lance by the reports that I saw. So that was not an expected move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it happened. And this team, I'm sure, is very happy to have Jimmy there in case Trey Lance decides he's not quite ready yet.
Yeah.
We're going to find out. I don't think he's going to have the best showing in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there are some things to this Bears defense that are nice. And as the season goes on, I think they'll grow more together if they stay healthy, and we'll be able to do some better things. With that being said, I still don't think they win. I still think that San Francisco is going to win by like 10.
Okay.
I'm going to say 10 points, and I'm with you. I'm still taking the under because, again, I don't think the Bears are very good, and I think while with what you're saying, they have a very good roster in San Francisco, I think Trey Lance is going to be making some mistakes where that kind of holds them back from actually scoring a lot of points.
Yeah. I would listen, if I'm looking at a score, I'm not just to throw a number out there, like a 20-13 kind of game. Bears will get on the board. They'll score a touchdown. I'm sure Fields will do something spectacular. I just think San Francisco's just got enough. And they still got Robbie Gould, and he's consistently good. And I'm sure he always is looking for a nice payback on Chicago.
Just show me something, Justin Fields, against a top-tier defense in the league and potential defensive player of the year in Bosa this year.
I honestly think Bosa might be the best defense. And I know Aaron Donald's out there. I think he might be the best defensive player in the league right now.
We're gonna
find out.
Braxton Jones has his work cut out for him as a rookie coming into this game. So there's a lot of things we're gonna find out week one. I think are the lights too bright?
Yeah,
but we're gonna find out if the lights are too bright for a few quarterbacks. We're gonna talk about a few have some good things going on and it's a little bit of worries when we come back on the X-Bomb Sports Live show. Are back. I am still Drew Gwillem, and this is still Andrew Valentin.
I am.
And we have some more NFL news for you.
Good.
For you all, because NFL is king.
Absolutely.
Always.
Always.
Always will be. Number one in my heart. And the one and only Danger Russ Wilson. Let's ride.
Yep. Let him cook, baby.
Let Russ cook is been the saying that we've been hearing a very long time in Seattle. Let Russ cook. Just sling it. Well,
yeah.
Russ is cooking.
Yeah.
And he's cooking some fillets nonstop because he has gotten a new extension.
Yeah.
From the Denver Broncos. He will sign a 5-year, $245 million extension, $165 million guaranteed. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. But you know what? I feel like the guy deserves it. He's earned his money. He's had one season where he's missed time. He's won a Super Bowl.
That's insane.
Like, as long as he's been playing, last season was the first time he missed game action.
Yeah, he's played all 16 games for like 9 years.
Unheard of.
Oh, God,
and unbelievable,
unreal.
too. So, going forward, what does this mean for Denver? And what do you think this does for the quarterback market?
Well, what I think it does for Denver, obviously, this secures Russell Wilson a little bit more. I mean, we've got the numbers in front of us. This actually lessens the blow on Wilson now in terms of his salary cap hit. He's only making $2 million on his base salary. The signing bonus is $10 million. The roster bonus is $5 million. So in total, that's $17 million up front. That is exactly what you want from your starting quarterback if you want to win a championship, because now you can afford to pay everybody else their money.
Just like they did in Seattle when he was a rookie.
Yes.
And that's why, guys, finding that rookie quarterback in that window of paying him on his rookie deal is so big for teams because they can pay up elsewhere and where they don't have to pay out the ass for a quarterback.
Absolutely, especially when you think about the fact that he was a third-round draft pick.
Right.
He didn't even really cost them millions upon millions upon millions. He cost them a couple hundred, well, not a couple 100,000, but close to about $1 million, I think, a year.
Yeah.
Whatever it was on his rookie deal. And then they were like, okay, give him all the money, because unfortunately Seattle sunk their teeth into saying he's going to win us. Right, but you can't help him if you're paying him all the money.
Right.
I get it. He's good. Listen, Aaron wants all the money in Green Bay. We know he makes the difference. Quarterback makes the total difference in the game.
Yes,
but
it
when
does.
you're paying him $50 million, you can't afford to keep Devontae Adams. And then he goes to the Raiders where they can pay him all the money because they're paying everybody cheap. And Derek Carr's like, yeah, I'll make less, whatever. So it makes total sense. I applaud the Denver Broncos for that. But I thought about this, And the reason why I like the whole quarterback market thing, because I've been thinking about that, because this now hurts on the guaranteed money because we know Watson's making fully guaranteed. We know that Kyler Murray just got paid almost $190 million in guaranteed. And who still needs a contract right now? It's a man in Baltimore, and he wanted to be paid just like those guys.
Yep.
He put himself in the Deshaun Watson talk. Well, this is probably what, top 10, maybe even top 5 quarterback, you would say, in Russell
And
Wilson?
not getting in trouble in Baltimore
and
ever.
no problems whatsoever. And then now you've got Russell Wilson, who's then top 10, top 5 quarterback, and this is how much he's getting paid. It kind of hurts Lamar a little bit. So I think it doesn't damage it too much. Obviously, the quarterback's making a ton of money. But I think for Lamar's sake, he's not maybe going to get what he wants. On top of the fact, obviously, he is the player he is. And that's what I think is going to happen with the quarterback market.
See, I'm not too concerned with Lamar's deal. I think he's still going to get his because...
Oh, he'll get paid. He'll get paid.
Yes, he will.
He absolutely can't not pay him.
I don't think this really hurts him. Just looking at age-wise where Russ is at in his career,
Right.
and Lamar Jackson and what he means to that team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what he can do, and just the way they basically tailored the offense to the guy he is,
Right.
and it has worked very well.
Oh, yeah, they've built everything around him. My only thing is just you're running quarterback. We know the history that's behind there. Now, and then he kind of got a little fussy on social media, talking with random people, being like, you don't love Lamar if you don't want me to get paid. Don't talk about yourself in the third person, by the way. That's weird. But he'll get paid. Listen, Baltimore's going to give him the money. They can't afford not to give him the money because Huntley's good, but obviously we know what Lamar can do. We've seen him. He's an MVP, all-pro. I just think that with Russ getting this much money, if you're saying this is one of the top quarterbacks getting paid, this now kind of puts Lamar in a tough spot because he thinks he should be paid like Deshaun Watson. That's kind of where he puts himself in the realm. And I think, first off, I wouldn't associate with him, but I get what he's trying to say. I deserve to be fully guaranteed money. I don't know I would go that route considering how much he runs around. So that's what only I mean for the quarterback market. But for Russ, I mean, he's just proven once again why if you're a veteran and you can play hard, you're going to make your money. And he made a smart Tom Brady-like decision. Got my money, but we backloaded it. So now I can try and win a championship and go out in the sunlight. Makes sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah. Well, on the other side of a awesome veteran quarterback in the league, they had been in the league for a few years, and not so veteran and not so great, but the truth will come out.
Yeah.
The Trubisky truthers are out there, and they're going to get their truth. Okay,
Are they with the two honors?
Huh?
With the two honors?
You just could be. We don't care about Tua right now.
Right, yeah, exactly.
The Tua people, that guy has everything he could ever need to succeed, and if he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Mitch Trubisky has been named the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie Kenny Pickett has been named the backup.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Mitch Trubisky, QB1 for the Steelers, and how will that situation play out? Is he going to last the season, or is he going to have an early hook and the Pittsburgh kid himself come take over?
Mitch, you're a great guy. I think you got a good heart. I think you love football. I do. I don't think it was the right move. More and more we see these quarterbacks get drafted, and immediately upon their first year, whatever, they're making an impact. Be it Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert or Kyler Murray or even Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. Do those guys have some more opportunities where they're being set up to be successful? Sure, the teams are making the smart moves, right? With the Steelers, they got a good receiving core. They got a strong running back. They've got maybe the best. Let's just say it. They got the best defense right now in the NFL because they've paid it for sure. They're the number one paid defense, but they're also lacking on the offensive line. And I get it. You want to bring in Kenny slow and steady. But everything I saw from Kenny Pickett, I thought he was the better and more dynamic playmaker at quarterback. And listen, I love David to death. I love our boy David Dykstra, but he keeps trying to tell me game manager, game manager, game manager. You don't need a game manager. You need a quarterback. If you want a game manager, you can just put a wide receiver or running back there and just say hand the ball off about 30 times and throw the ball about 10, 15 times. We can call that Bob Greasy football if you want.
And I'll argue, I know we talked him back, but
Yeah.
I'll argue that I don't necessarily think that Mitch is a game manager.
No.
Because I don't think he's even shown enough and played well enough to be at that point.
Yeah.
He still, while coaching aside and not getting any help in Chicago,
Yes.
there were so many times where he had wide open reads and he would miss it, either not see the wide open guy or overthrow the wide open guy.
Every time. Almost every time.
A lot of the time.
Yes.
There were times where he flashed and he showed some good things early on, but then that all seemed to fall and fade away.
When was his best game? It's a 6-touchdown game against Tampa Bay, against a Jameis Winston that was still on the learning curve, 2 years in, and a defense that was not even set in Tampa. They were all over the place at that point.
They had a very bad defense that year.
Absolutely. I believe that was still with Gerald McCoy and all those guys still on the defensive line. So that's ways back. So that's his best game. Outside of that, we never saw progress. And I would even, look, I'm devil's advocate on this. I would even go far to argue to say that Matt Nagy coming in his first year used a lot of smoke and mirrors to cover up the inabilities that Mitch had to be a star quarterback, because he knew this guy can't throw very far. He can't work in my offense. Where Nagy failed, he never adjusted to what obviously Trubisky could do. That's where the great coaches differ from the average coaches. So he was never going to be a great coach. But I think Mitch just never did the homework. He never made the progress. He got upset when he was like, turn the TVs off because I can't listen to the news or whatever his whole problem was. It just never got better. It stayed stagnant for so long. And Tomlin, I know he went on there and he was like, well, he led them to the playoffs. He was part of the playoff team, right? The defense led that team to the playoffs with a decent run game and a couple of smoke and mirror plays from screen passes and things like that. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't we have to rely on didn't the Bears have to rely on the Arizona Cardinals, win or lose, for their second playoff to happen, and then they get smoked by the Saints anyways? I have a hard time trusting Trubisky at that point.
Agreed.
You got a rookie quarterback. You took him in the first round. I think he's talented enough. I think he's way more talented than Trubisky at this point. I think he's certainly more talented than Mason Rudolph, who's like, at least I'm on the team for now, and get over yourself. So I would honestly say I think Mike Tomlin is making a bad decision on this one. And I think by week 6, he's going to make the change. By that point, it'll be too late. I think the Steelers will have their first losing season under him. Honestly.
I'm still not putting my money on them having a losing season.
Tomlin's a great coach. Tomlin's a great coach.
They're proven winners.
Hall of Fame coach.
Proven winners.
Absolutely.
And proven a winning organization.
It's TJ Watt. It's Casey Hayward. It's Minka Fitzpatrick.
Right. They're
going to win you, I would say, at least 6-7 games.
And they have
the offense has to pick up the pace.
They have the role players around to help pick Mitch up some, which I think will help. I think Mitch just needed more time riding the bench and actually developing. And when you don't have coaching that can do that, and you have play callers who are not good at calling plays, it makes it difficult on not only your young quarterback, but everybody around him.
It also doesn't help when you're the number 2 overall pick. And what do we always feel when it comes to a top 5 pick? Well, you better be the starter right away, because that means you're the franchise.
Exactly.
And that's where it hurts Mitch. That's where it hurts Tua. That's where it hurts all these guys.
Exactly.
They get picked that high.
Well, he had good coaching last year in Buffalo to help him develop more, rode the bench. He has had good coaching here in Pittsburgh so far.
Yep.
So, and with all the weapons around him that he could need, if he's going to develop and turn himself into a player in this league other than a backup, we're gonna find out.
Absolutely.
Make or break for Mitch.
I'm just telling everybody, and I said this, and I'll say this really quickly. Bears fans that are arguing for Mitch to be good, I get it. You want Nagy and Pace to be the scapegoats on this. You're just going to have to accept the fact that a part of the problem that happened here in Chicago was on Mitch too. But that being said, I do wish him the best. I do very much wish him the best. I just don't think it's going to go as well as Steeler fans are hoping. I don't know if Kenny's your future, but I certainly don't think it's Mitch or Mason.
We're going to find out.
Absolutely.
Games starting tonight.
Yes.
And then Sunday's the big day. One more quarterback for us to talk about here, which we've already kind of touched on a little bit.
Yep.
The Niner nuisance, which is not necessarily Trey Lance being the nuisance,
Right.
but Trey Lance has reportedly been a little annoyed here that with Jimmy Garoppolo sticking around. He has restructured his deal some to stick around for 1 year with the San Francisco 49ers to back up Trey Lance.
Yes.
For now.
Yes, for now.
So, again, like I know we've talked about before, and I've said before, to me, this screams we're not totally sold on this guy, and we want to have a guy we know who can do the job and take us to the playoffs.
Right.
Okay. How do you think Garoppolo's presence is going to affect Trey Lance in this offense?
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that Jimmy will be traded at some point?
God, I know Trey Lance, the whole thing was like, oh, he was like annoyed at first, but then all of a sudden he was like, that's my big bro and all that stuff. He said all the good things, all the things you're supposed to say. I think it's very clear that Kyle Shanahan's a little bit worried because he's been very transparent with the whole thing, right? He says, it's not a good day of practice. I wish we had more practice time. He said a lot of things that make, I think, all the 49ers fans going to go, and we traded 3 first-round picks for this guy? Are you sure about that?
Like, it hasn't looked great in preseason.
No.
And then there's questions of, well, was this Shanahan's pick? Was it someone else's pick that was like, no, we're taking this guy?
Yeah, that's it. Well, and that's where this is Kyle Shanahan versus John Lynch, the GM, because John Lynch, obviously, he's the guy that's making these picks. He's the guy that suckered the Bears in. Thank you again for the Trubisky stuff. But obviously, Solomon Thomas turned out great for you guys. Congratulations, by the way. Really average tackle.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, just digging in the needle a little bit where I could. But nevertheless, I think that the Trey Lance pick, Trey Lance, I think, is far more talented than Garoppolo is on the skill level. When it comes to obviously everything mentally, and I think when it comes to the locker room stuff, I think Garoppolo is kind of like Tom Brady, right? You can get along with him. He's a great guy. Everything I hear from all the reporters and stuff is that he's easy to get along with, easy to talk to. He's not going to ruffle feathers.
Everybody in the locker room loves him.
Absolutely. And he's a leader, and that
Right.
is what you need. You need Trey Lance to be that leader. This could kind of
whoops on Green Bay
Right.
and then says F Green Bay.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Love it. It's great.
We love you, buddy. As the local son, we all
Eastern
love you.
Illinois zone.
Absolutely. Rolling Meadows' very own as well.
Yeah.
Forgot we were in the same recruiting class. You obviously outstarred me way big time. But now, either way, I think it could hinder Trey Lance because obviously you want him to be the leader. Well, Jimmy's still in the locker room being a leader for the locker room, which is fine, but how many times have we seen the quarterback that's a story when he's a backup to the starter, right? I mean, we talked about the whole thing with Baker Mayfield staying in Cleveland when Deshaun came in. That's not going to work because that's a storyline that's going to be distracting.
That's a different circumstance to me.
Yeah, that was
there was a big mess between the Browns and Baker, and
Right.
here it's like I think they're like it was like the girl you were dating for a while that you're like, I'm really not ready to let go yet.
Yeah. Can I actually? I've just thought about this now. This just popped in my head. Is this a lighter? Would you not to ask you the question, but I'll shoot it to you. Would you say this is a lighter version of a Joe Montana versus Steve Young kind of thing? Not necessarily on that level of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but in the sense of a veteran who's proven himself, young guys kind of coming in to kind of push him out, it seems like.
No, because I think hands down, Joe Montana, obviously Hall of Famer, Steve Young, Hall of Famer.
Right.
To me,
I'm saying it's a lighter version of that where
it's like one feather light, maybe.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah.
like we're moving on from Hall of Fame quarterback that's, getting to the end of his career, and
Right.
we're ready to move to the young guy who's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. They didn't know it at the time necessarily, but obviously they had the idea if they were willing to move to that and go that way.
I'm only saying that because I think about it like Garoppolo goes to the Super Bowl, right? He's won with the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan's only had a winning record with Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback. Now you bring in this young gun. You didn't, sign him or trade for him like you did Steve Young. You traded up to go get this guy. So you're saying he's the guy. So now you're saying, well, now we have to play him because we traded all these picks, but you still have this veteran quarterback that's still kind of challenging him to say, like, because if he plays well enough, Jimmy Garoppolo can still make $40 million on all incentives.
Yeah.
So I just feel like the dynamic there is almost similar, where younger quarterback, where you want to play him because he's more dynamic and there's a lot more you can work with, but Jimmy G's a winner. And I think that's where the problem is that Jimmy G can obviously still win you games. Now he's got the no trade, no tags, all that stuff. So now he gets to kind of decide where he wants to go. But he has not. But suitors didn't want him because he was worth $24 million. Now he's only worth 6.5. So now he could easily be traded, I think. But who's looking to trade for him? That's the question. Seahawks don't seem very interested. I think the only one right now that makes sense is the Giants, but they have not said a peep yet about wanting to trade for him. So I think it's a difficult spot. I think the Niners will still be successful. They'll find a way to win, but this could cause them to go on a bit of a slip if all of a sudden Trey Lance isn't playing well. They pull him and they put in Jimmy Garoppolo. There could be this well, what's going on? Why is there so much confusion? I mean, we saw with Miami, right? When Miami had Tua, they're playing Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now they put in Tua. Now they're pulling Tua and putting in Ryan Fitzpatrick because they want to win the game. It got confusing. It got messy. And the last thing the Niners need right now is for a messy situation to possibly get even worse. So I think they'll be fine, but I at the end of the day, only time will tell at this point.
Absolutely, and we are going to find out real soon when Trey Lance comes out and throws a pick six early on in the game, and the Bears run it back. There may be clamors for Jimmy. We'll find out. But Pete, speaking of pick six as well, we're going to come right back with you and do a little pick six ourselves.
Absolutely.
And go over some big games in the NFL right here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. Welcome back in. I am still Drew Gwillem, and this is still Andrew Valentin.
Yes, sir.
And this is still the X-Bomb Sports Live Show.
Mm-hmm.
And we are about to hit our first pick six for week one of the NFL season.
The week has started.
We've already made a pick.
Absolutely.
We've made one pick, so it has begun. I think we're going to be much better at our NFL picks than our college picks.
I think so too.
I think we will.
Stop yelling at us, by the way, that we made the wrong decision. If you follow our advice and you don't win, on you, not on me, not on Drew, not on TJ, on you. But if you win,
we will not be held responsible for your poor bets. Yes. Disclaimer there.
But if you win, we will take a nice cut of the fund if you would like to donate to us.
Yes. Yes, please. You can definitely send us money.
Absolutely.
More money, more better.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, speaking of money, we're going to talk about some filthy rich NFL teams battling their asses off, starting with tonight's game. Bills at Rams.
What a way to start.
Oh.
What a way to start.
Super Bowl champion.
Attaboy, NFL.
Super Bowl champions from last season.
Yes.
And very, very, very good
Future
potential.
Super Bowl champ. No, I'm just
that
kidding.
The Bills are Super Bowl. That's my pick this year.
I got them as the hottest contenders right now.
They are a complete team.
Yeah. Really, their only weakness is in the offensive line, and even those guys are the underachieving aggressors.
And when you have Josh Allen,
Josh Allen's crazy good.
So the spread for this game is Buffalo minus 2.5 over under 52. What are you taking for this one?
I'm actually going to take the Rams on this. I think in the early set, I think the Bills still have a little bit more work to go. Let's say they got to get more fine tuned. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be like up in the 30s, so it's hitting the over. I'm getting this one hitting the over. High scoring game, a lot of good points. I just think the Rams right now, they're complete. They seem like they've had a great camp. I don't know where Matthew Stafford's at, but He's got Allen Robinson now to kind of be his short mid-route guy. He's got Cooper Kupp that can do everything. I like where they're at. I think it's going to be a good game, but I'll take the Rams. I'll take the Rams on the +2.5 on that. So, and yeah, I'm gonna take the over.
Typically, at the start of the season, it's said that defenses are not miles ahead, but ahead of the offenses. It's just the way it goes in the NFL.
Yes.
Bills have a very good defense.
Absolutely.
They have some players out. Tre'Davious White isn't starting the season. The Rams have a very good defense.
Yes.
So there's a very good chance of that happening. But I don't think it's going to happen because both of these offenses are high-powered, high-scoring offenses. The Bills have been together for a long time. They're going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Overall, I think the Rams are going to be ready to go. They just won a Super Bowl. Yes, they have some new pieces, but they're good pieces. They're professional pieces, and they're going to be ready to go. With that being said, I'm taking the Bills by 3.
Okay.
And I'm with you. I'm going to take the over on this too. Even though defenses are ahead, I don't think that plays into these two teams.
No, they're too good.
Yes.
They're too good.
Yes, they are. Next on the list, we have Steelers at the Bengals. Spread is Cincinnati -6.5, over under 44.5. I already know who you're taking here.
How do you know?
Yeah. Oh,
After what I said about Mitch, maybe I'll go the other way.
Joe Burrow. Maybe he'll let you carry his jockstrap out before the game.
You think he would?
Probably.
I'll ask him.
Yeah.
Joe, I love you, baby. All right. Yeah, no, I'm taking the Bengals on this. I'm gonna actually say I think by a full touchdown, so I'll give them the 0.5 on it too. It doesn't feel like they got worse. It feels like they only got better. I know their defense is still kind of meh, but listen, I think this team kind of lives more on their offense right now. Joe Burrow is obviously the leader of this team. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. You could go on and on. They upgraded the offensive line.
Big time.
I just don't. We just talked about Mitch. I know he's starting. I think he'll play efficient, but I don't think he'll make enough plays to put them in the game. So I'm saying Bengals by a full touchdown on this. But I am going to say I think it hits the under on it. I think it's going to hit the under because obviously it's the Steelers' defense. I think the Bengals will win this one, though, by a touchdown.
I am with you. I am taking the Bengals. I think they're a very much improved team. I think Burrow starts a little slow.
That's right. Yeah, he did have the appendectomy.
He had that appendectomy and coming back, and not that he hasn't played with these guys before.
Right.
It's a new season. They haven't been all together for a very long time.
Right.
And playing all together for a very long time. I think they're still going to be a good team overall at season's end, but I think while I do think they win, I still think they start a little slow. So I'll still take the Bengals. I'm gonna say 6 points because I think the Steelers defense keeps them in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm with you. I'm taking the under because while I do think the Bengals have an improved defense as well, who showed some nice things last season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, we have Patriots at the Dolphins. Miami -3.5, over under 46.
This is
Take Tua. Take Tua.
It's tough. It's tough. I know it's tough. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take Miami on it. I'm gonna take Miami, but I'll say 1.5 points because I don't think Miami is gonna fully be there. But at this point, I kind of trust Miami more than what I'm hearing from New England because sounds like Mac Jones is not happy. He's frustrated because he's got 5-6 dudes calling plays for him at any given moment between Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, Bill Belichick. You can't have everybody playing offense and defensive coordinator. You have to be able to have coach. I know Belichick's being like, I'm going to be smarter than everybody. I'm going to do something different. Not going to work. I think Miami by 1.5. I'll say the under. I don't think Miami's going to score a lot of points, but I don't think the Patriots will probably score more than maybe like 13 points at this point. Not right now. I'm not confident with them. So, but I'll say Miami wins it 1.5.
I'm with you. I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I'm gonna say a field goal.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take the under as well. Week 1 unders, I think, are typically a safe bet.
Everybody's starting out, like
especially with again a team like the Patriots with some uncertainty, unhappy Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Not a lot of weapons there. Unproven guys trying to rebuild themselves some.
Absolutely.
The Dolphins, again, uncertainty.
Right.
While they have some very, 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 very nice pieces.
Yeah.
You got to see what adding Tyreek Hill into this mix does. What kind of running game are they going to get out of Chase Edmonds and Mostert? how well is that offensive line going to block for Tua? Is Tua going to be able to throw? Will Tua be a good
My
thrower?
biggest question.
So we're going to find out. So, yes, I'm definitely with you on all those points.
Yeah.
Next up, we have, this one actually could turn out to be kind of fun.
Absolutely.
So we have the Browns at the Panthers. The spread right now is even.
Yeah.
Okay. And the over-under is at 42. Baker Mayfield grudge match. Who you taking?
I'm going to go with the Browns. I know a lot of people don't just because of the fact of obviously what occurred with Deshaun Watson and everything. I totally understand that. Totally agree. They should be punished. They're going to be through a lot of dysfunction. But let's not forget, Myles Garrett is still leading this team. This defense is still very solid. Jacoby Brissett is a good enough quarterback. Talk about a game manager. There's your game manager right there in Jacoby Brissett. He does just enough to get you wins. He can get you to a 9-8 kind of season if he wants to. He doesn't have to do a lot. Nick Chubb runs the ball well. They still have Kareem Hunt. This team is fairly loaded. They just don't have a lot of offensive weapons at wide receiver. That's their biggest issue right now. So it's head even, which is tough. I would say I think Cleveland can win this one. I'll give them 4.5 on it. But 42, man. It's tough. You know what? I think that it's just going to hit the under, I think. Just underneath 42. I'll go. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go with the over on this. I get vibes that Chubb's going to have a nice day. And Baker will probably put up a couple touchdowns here and there, too. He wants it.
I am taking the Panthers here, okay? I think Baker's going to play well. He has a lot of weapons. Healthy Christian McCaffrey, who's one of the best in the game, running the ball, catching the ball, plus the receivers they have.
Yeah.
There's a lot for him to go to. And I think the Panthers defense is not a bad unit. They're not out of this world, but I think they're a solid unit who is going to be able to do more than enough against Jacoby Brissett. Yes, they're going to have Nick Chubb running the ball. He's a tough guy to stop for anybody.
Right.
The best defense in the league. They have Kareem Hunt out of the backfield. I think he's going to get a lot of work too. I just don't think that there's going to be enough passing game work for them to win this week.
Yeah.
So while the whole Browns defense is going to want to take Baker's head off, I think he's mobile enough and healthy enough now that he's going to be able to do something. I'm going to take the Panthers by a full touchdown.
Okay.
But I'm still with you. I'm on the under. Still don't see a ton of points being scored here.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough.
All right. Now, in the NFC North, some division foes facing off to start week 1. Packers at the Vikings. Green Bay at -1.5, over under at 47.
In the stadium collapse? That's not an option, is it?
I tried with Ohio State, Notre Dame, and it didn't work.
It came close, I thought. I saw that.
You could try again.
I could. You know what? I'm going to go for the upset on this. I think the Vikings can take it. I'll take the Vikings by 2. Kirk Cousins with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, everybody's healthy. I actually kind of look at the Vikings defense compared to the Packers. I know the Packers defense is better, but I think the Vikings have just enough on the defensive side to maybe make some stops. I don't know where Aaron Rodgers was with his wide receivers. I don't even know where the offensive line is at this point with the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, they have Bakhtiari and all those guys, but still, I have questions. I have a lot of questions with both of these teams, but I feel like I have less questions right now with Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne. I mean, we can go down the list. He's got some weapons he can work with. I think he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. No. Do I think he's a good enough quarterback? Absolutely. Can they get the win? Yes, I'll give him 2, and I think it hits the over. I think it's going to be a nice scoring game.
Yeah, I'm actually with you too. I'm taking the Vikings in this one. I think the Vikings are going to be better than what they're necessarily getting a lot of credit for.
Yeah. It's a new head coach too, Kevin O'Connell, offensive minded.
Yes.
Whole new ball game.
Defense got better.
Mm-hmm.
They improved there. While I don't necessarily agree with some of the moves they made draft-wise and compensation-wise,
yes,
I think they have a very good offense. Kirk Cousins leading the way. While again, I don't think he's this out of this world quarterback, but he does enough for them to win games. Absolutely. He can throw 4 touchdowns in a game, 400 yards. He's very capable of that. And when he has the weapons that he does on that team, it's not going to be very difficult. And yes, Green Bay's defense got a lot better too. It's the offense that has its uncertainty. While Aaron Rodgers, you know what you're getting from him. There's a lot of young wide receivers there, a lot of guys that he hasn't played with before. Yep. How's that going to look? Absolutely. And I don't think it looks like they're on top of their game in week 1.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to hold them back. So I'll take the Vikings by, I'll say a field goal, and I'm with you on the over as well. I think this is one of those games where they can still put up points.
Absolutely.
Last one on the list, we have the Raiders at the Chargers. Fun division. It's going to be a lot of fun games.
I can't wait.
Starting week 1. The spread is the Chargers -3, over under 52. What do you think about this one?
Outside of Bills and Rams, I think this might be a challenge for game of the week.
Can't argue with that.
I like the matchup. It's Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. First time we're going to see him, full game action. Justin Herbert with his weapons, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. This is going to be, it's hitting that over. It's hitting the over on the 52.
I'm with you.
That's probably going into like the 60s and maybe over.
Well, I think the Chargers have a very much improved defense this year. No J.C. Jackson right off the bat.
Yes.
So that's one of their best corners in the league.
Absolutely.
Out to start the season. It's going to hurt.
Yes. And look, Derwin James, I love Derwin James.
Yep.
I think when he's healthy, he's clearly a top 10, top 5 safety in the league. Problem is
I think
trouble.
He's higher than that.
He might.
I think he's a lot higher than that. I think he might almost be the top safety in the league when he's at full health and playing at his game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He might be the best safety in the league.
I would best all-around safety I think I've seen in a long time, where he can play in the box, make tackles, play the run, pass rush. He does it all, folks. He does it all, and he's great. I just don't know how healthy his body is always going to keep up. At some point, he usually gets hurt. Hate saying that because I want to see him play full season contact.
They bet on him. They paid him.
They did. They paid him, and he's happy with that. I don't know where Khalil Mack's at. I have questions with those guys. I'm taking the Raiders on this one because even though both sides I think have questions, Raiders defense, who knows how they are. Their pass defense is not looking really good. They got a lot of question marks themselves. Josh Jacobs, all that stuff. I think the Derek Carr, Devontae Adams connection, Darren Waller is playing. The offensive line seems to have found some small gems, diamonds in the rough. Max Crosby's a leader on that defense. I think there's enough there for the Raiders.
Chandler Jones now.
Yeah, Chandler Jones, we forget about him. There's enough there that they can get to Herbert.
Who's we?
Yes,
who's we?
That the Raiders can get to Herbert.
No. Who's we forgot about Chandler Jones?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
We don't forget.
I forgot about Chandler Jones.
Got a mouse in your pocket?
Yeah, I know. I apologize, folks. But I apologize, Chandler. Don't send your brother John after me. He's bad news. He gets in a lot of trouble. Well, he might be in jail. I don't know. But either way, I like Justin Herbert a lot. I think he's one of my guys right now in the top for MVP potentially. But I think he still has a lot more work to do. He needs to get a little bit more mature with his processing power for his quarterbacking ability. He's great. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league right now in his second year with Burrow and all those guys. They've made huge progress. I think he still has a little bit more work to do. Taking the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders by the field goal instead of the Chargers. It's hitting the over.
I'm going to take the Chargers here. I think they are an ridiculously good offense.
Yes.
And I feel like they're going to take the next step and get better and make the playoffs this year. I think they are a playoff team. I think they've improved all around.
Yeah.
While they may start a little slow in certain areas defense, but I'm not concerned about that offense one bit.
Yeah.
Their guys are back. They're returning. They have some new young guys who are making some noise as well on the offensive side to add to what they already had, which is a big deal.
Absolutely.
So for me, I'm taking the Chargers. I'm going to take them by 3, and I'm with you on the over.
It's going to happen.
Yeah,
come on.
I
get the feeling Austin Eckler is going to do something special here too, folks. I love Austin Eckler. He's great. He's a little bowling ball. He's going to have some 99-yard play to go to the end zone to probably win it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, that'll do it for our pick 6 here.
Yep.
And that'll do it for our show today. We are going to get the hell out of here and go get some food and watch football. Andrew, Thank you. Always fun talking NFL, football, and
Absolutely,
anything
man.
sports.
That's
Always
why.
a good
That's
time.
why I save the best for you, my friend.
Absolutely. Well, tell everybody where they can hear you, listen to you, see you,
Absolutely.
harass you.
Of course, harass me. Why not? You guys obviously can hit me up, The Fluffy Guru on Twitter. Always hit me up, Boom Crew Captain on Instagram. That's where I mostly am at. If you guys want to find me, I'm here at X-Bomb Sports every Wednesday and Thursday, 5:30 to 6:30, doing my thing with Drew, or doing my thing with TJ on Tuesdays every now and then for Short on Sports, or I'm doing my thing on Blow the Whistle with David and Tyler on the radio and on the TV side Mondays and Tuesdays. So be on the lookout for all that.
Excellent. I am here, sometimes hosting, sometimes co-hosting, right here, X-Bomb Sports Live Show, Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can also find me on Instagram at d.gwil25 and Facebook at Drew Gwillem. I'm always available to answer any nonsense or some serious sports questions as well.
Yep.
All right. You can check us out on Facebook. Check our page, facebook.com/Team X-Bomb Sports. We'll have updates, shows, past shows, coming shows. Our live ones are posted there. Check us out there. You can also find us on YouTube. Same thing. We will be posting there as well. Check out our social media, Twitter and Instagram. Social media is at X-Bomb Sports on both. So check us out there. We've had more stories, more posts.
Yep.
Throw updates on there for you. Anything important we think you should know or might want to know.
Absolutely. Shout out to our boy Jake Bradley running the social media.
Doing a hell of a job for us behind the scenes doing that. Which
Appreciate
is
it,
very
Jake.
nice. If you would like to send Andrew any harassing emails, xbsportsofficial@gmail.com.
Bring it on.
Questions, comments, concerns, anything you'd like to see us do differently.
Absolutely.
Anything you'd like to praise us for. We'd love to hear good stuff, but constructive criticism is okay as well.
Yes, not just you suck.
Yeah. That's
a dumb email.
that's not approved by your class president.
This is
I do not approve
He
that
vetoes
message.
that.
I do not approve that message. Okay, now we're going to run through the podcasts and shows.
Hit it, boy.
Start with Blow the Whistle. You can check them out on sportsdownchicago.com every Monday from 2 to 4. You can also check them out up here on Tuesdays at 5:30, 6:30. Same time?
2:30, 3:30.
2:30, 3:30.
Yes.
Their times change. Your clock's off.
Yeah, our clock is off, yes.
But you can check them out there now, simulcasting on twitch.tv/XBomb Sports. Our guy, Brandon Januska, you can find him at 94.3 WMKR on the radio doing country. Yeehaw. Yeehaw, Brandon. Country boy. You can also find him while he's yeehawing around on the radio. He also does a wonderful podcast called Baseball Banter with Brandon. Dude knows more than I could ever possibly think to imagine about baseball. He is so super knowledgeable about baseball, all the other sports too, but baseball seems to be his numero uno.
Absolutely.
And if you want to know about baseball, you should definitely go listen to him there.
Oh, yeah.
On Odyssey. Odyssey.com, right?
Yes. Odyssey and Spotify.
And Spotify. We have Monday Motivation with Hannah B. She does an awesome podcast. Start your Monday off right. Great interviews, very motivational speakers, and lots of good information she throws out there to help you through your week. Also with her, you can find her on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, and more. But with her, she is on 102.3 XLC, doing from 3 to 7 on the afternoon drive, just killing it on the radio.
Yep.
Every day throughout the week, weekdays. So check her out there on the afternoon drive. You can also find her on the Star 96.7 with Eddie V in the morning. Start your mornings off right. You can listen to Monday Morning Motivation with Hannah B, and then you can hear her on the radio or flip-flop, whatever.
Yeah. Hannah B and Eddie V.
She'll just kill your days for you, and you will be happy and better for it.
Absolutely.
Okay, along with that, you can check our guys out at the Parlay. Tony Lopez alongside former NBA vet and professional boxer Kendall Gill. For all your boxing, MMA, and combat sports needs, check out theparlay.com. Hopefully some great stuff coming that way. Always good to hear news coming about with these fighting guys over there.
Yeah.
And they do great work, and hopefully we could see Kendall Gill beating up on somebody other than Jake Paul because he's a little meow. And
Jake Paul got no balls.
Yeah.
Hashtag on that, folks.
Yep. Hashtag Jake Paul.
Fight a real boxer.
Yep. Fight a boxer.
Fight a boxer.
Fight
yes.
a boxer.
I love Anderson Silva, but fight an actual boxer. Come on.
And on that note, we hope everybody harasses Jake Paul. Don't be too okay. Harassment's not okay. Let's get that out of the way.
Let's not go that
Let's
far.
not go that far.
Let's not go that far.
But like, you suck.
Yeah.
Hashtag Jake Paul has no balls.
Whatever you've done to him.
Those kinds of things.
Yeah, keep that small stuff going.
Let him know what kind of a wuss he really is.
Yes.
Okay? But hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy football. We got college Saturday. We have professional Sunday. And we have, most of all, tonight.
Absolutely.
Game 1. NFL season starts here. Hope everybody enjoys. Good luck with your fantasy teams. Hopefully we don't lose in one game.
Absolutely.
So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for being here. We can't do this without you.
Yep.
So we appreciate you. And we will catch you next week right here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show.